Psalm 130 and Luke chapter 3. We're going to go to the book of Daniel. And of course, Daniel is in Babylon, one of the ones taken captive during the 70-year captivity. And he's been prospering and growing in positions of leadership. And here now the king is Belshazzar, and he has this feast, and there's a writing on the wall, and no one can figure it out. And then read verse 11. There is a man in your kingdom in whom is the spirit of the holy gods. In the days of your father, light and understanding and wisdom, like the wisdom of the gods, were found in him. And King Nebuchadnezzar, your father the king, made him chief of the magicians, enchanters, Chaldeans, and astrologers, because an excellent spirit, knowledge, and understanding to interpret dreams, explain riddles, and solve problems were found in this Daniel, whom the king named Belteshazzar. Now let Daniel be called, and he will show the interpretation. So we're not sure where he's been and what's been going on, but someone remembered, hey, there was this guy. So Daniel comes in, and he says, verse 17, let your gifts be for yourself, give your rewards to another. Nevertheless, I will read the writing to the king and make known to him the interpretation. O king, the most high God, gave Nebuchadnezzar your father kingship and greatness and glory and majesty. And because of the greatness that he gave him, all peoples, nations, and language trembles and feared before him. Whom he would, he killed, and whom he would, he kept alive. Whom he would, he raised up, and whom he would, he humbled. But when his heart was lifted up, and his spirit was so hardened that he dealt proudly, he was brought down from his kingly throne, and his glory was taken from him. And he goes on to say, verse 22, and you, his son, Belshazzar, have not humbled your heart, though you knew all this, but you have lifted up yourself against the Lord of heaven, and the vessels of his house have been brought in before you, and you and your lords, your wives, and your concubines have drunk wine from them. You have praised the gods of silver and gold, of bronze, iron, wood, and stone, which do not see or hear or know, but the God in whose hand is your breath, and whose are all your ways, you have not honored. So even sometimes when we know, and we see it in family, or see it in loved ones, seeing people close to us, how they go their own way, and maybe they were going the wrong way, and God corrects them, and then they respond and go the right way, and then they get prideful, and then guess what? We still then have to make right choices. We still have to follow the Lord for ourselves. We can't ride on their coattails. This leads into chapter 6, and now Daniel is under Darius, and he became distinguished, verse 3, above all the other officials and satraps, because an excellent spirit was in him. And we know that's the Spirit of God. And the king planned to set him over the whole kingdom, but the other officials said, this is not good, we got to do something. But the only thing we can do, unless we find verse 5b in connection with the laws of his God. And so they come up with this decree that no one can worship anyone except for you, O king, otherwise they'll be thrown into the den of lions. And so it says, verse 10, when Daniel knew that the document had been signed, he went to his house, where he had windows in his upper chamber open toward Jerusalem. He got down on his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his God, and underline this, as he had done previously. He didn't just all of a sudden start out doing what was right and having a relationship with God. See, that's got to be there. So when times of testing come, what comes out is what's been put in. What comes out is the fruit of a life following the Lord. That's what we want to see. And that's what happened in Daniel's life. Till next time, keep growing, little by little.